with you how to create a PDF version of your portfolio. For your portfolio, you can either choose to do a website or you can do this PDF version of your digital portfolio. So the easiest way to create a easily viewable PDF of your portfolio is to use PowerPoint, Keynote, or Google Docs. They're all very similar. I'm going to show you how to use Google Docs since it's publicly accessible, but it's going to be the same steps if you have PowerPoint. So I just want to go through the steps. It'll look exactly the same if you're using PowerPoint. So if you're in Google, you're going to go to Google Apps and you're going to choose Google Slides. You're going to want to choose a blank presentation, start a new presentation. It's like I said, same if you're in PowerPoint. Now, once I'm in here, you can choose a different theme. I would suggest choosing plain white. It's sort of the cleanest overall look, or plain black. I'm going to choose plain white because a lot of mine have a white border and it's going to look nicer, cleaner presentation. You should do a title slide. So depending on what you're using it for, you should title it with your name, and then you could title it with the series that you're doing, or if it's a more general one, you could just title it like artist, an illustrator, artist and educator, in my is what I might title it. That way you have a nice clean beginning side introducing yourself. The next step you're going to do is add a next slide. So if I hit new slide, and it's the same on here, you have different sort of formatting slides. You're going to want to choose the blank one. You could choose blank with caption, but you want to try to make the image as big as possible. So this is going to allow you a slightly larger image. So I typically use the blank slide. I'm going to choose my first image. Make sure I center it in the middle. It's best to center it. It looks a little cleaner. And then put my caption to the side, titling my image. Can also put untitled if they don't have a title. But typically you put the media that you used and the year. This is mixed media on canvas, or it could be acrylic on panel. Whatever the media that you use, you can kind of title it over here to the side, and then I line it up with the bottom edge. You want to have them all in the same area, so I'll put them on the bottom right for all of them. So once again, I'm going to click, make sure I have my blank slide. I'll add my next one. Make sure that you line it up. And in these, like I said, on these I have a nice little clean white border edge. I took these ones myself. Sometimes I've had professional ones done. With this one, I decided that I liked, there's kind of like a little bejeweled edge around the side. I wanted to pick up on that detail, so I left it with a little bit of the white gallery wall around the edge. Whichever you choose to do, try to keep it consistent. You could crop to the image itself, but make sure all of your images are cropped to the image itself. Just to give you an example, I'll pull this one up. This one I did not. It's cropped to the image, where this one is, I included the white background behind it, so you can see they look slightly different, and it's up to you, you know, which one you want to use, but just try to keep it consistent. So you click on the text box here, I click down in the bottom right hand side of the corner, if I could spell. I'm going to just line it up again with the bottom of my piece just so I keep everything similar, because this is going to become a, so let me move it, PDF document. It's being funny. There we go. So I want to kind of keep a consistent spacing. You can just click and drag it on. These little red lines show me that I have it in the center, so I can center it again and then add my text. And these are all oops, computer's running a little slow there. These are all vertically oriented, so they're all going to be very similar in these first few. I'm going to show you a horizontally oriented one here just momentarily. Just so you can kind of get an idea. And line this one up in the same spot. The only bad part about Google Docs is that it can be kind of fussy, and it'll give me a red line too with the bottom of the piece that you can line it up with. And then I'm going to add next my, this one is my gallery shot of the three of them together, because this is a series that I would like to be hung a certain way. I know a few of you mentioned that you were thinking about how you would like to see them together, so that's appropriate to show what they look like hung in your portfolio. So this would be an example of how I might hang them, or how they are seen in an exhibition. And the same thing, I can title this and put the title. And then I can put wash, rinse, repeat, and I'm going to run out. Now here's a situation where it's going to be a little bit tight. So I could just edge it up a hair to give myself a little bit more room for my caption. Gallery install. So I have a little bit more room so it's not so tight. I still want to keep it in the bottom right. And I want to give it kind of even spacing. Oh, there we go. But still kind of in a similar spot to where my other captions were. So if someone's clicking through, it looks nice and even. So once you have all of your images put into your PowerPoint, you're going to want to save it as a PDF. All your editing should be done in PowerPoint. The PDF is very difficult to edit. I can't move text around or add text. If I wanted to add, for example, an artist statement in here, I still am going to add it in a slide. It would be difficult to add it at the end without text because it would be differently oriented. So I can actually add that either through one of the slides that gives you more of a text option, or I can go in and add a text box. Type artist statement. Especially if an application is asking for an artist statement, you can just add it right in to the PDF itself, and I can, you've got some text editing capabilities here. And then go ahead from a Word document, I can go ahead and copy and paste my artist statement into here, and or you could type it. I forgot to pull up my artist statement before I started this video, but I will just kind of briefly put something in here as a placeholder. So it'll show up in my PDF. So once I have everything situated the way I want it to look, you're now going to, I would both save it as a PowerPoint. So I can go into here and put download, and I can save it as a PowerPoint just so I have a copy of it. I didn't name it yet, but I can go down here and rename it as my, oops, I'm just going to open it up in my Keynote here. I can go ahead and rename it as my, Bonnie, oops, as my, sorry, my computer's being a little weird. I can go ahead and rename this as, hold on, didn't want that to happen. I'm going to go ahead and rename it as my name. Sorry, let's do this again. Rename it as my name. Especially if you're sending this as an application, you want to have your first and last name on there. And then I can also save this as a PDF document, and this is what you'll want to send it in an application or to me for the assignment. And that's why I'm going to go under File again. And I can download this as a PDF version. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. And it's already put it into a nice clean PDF document for me with all the pages that I've already had put into place, right? Which is nice. And I can change the title of this PDF as well to make it my name. Just so I have it saved like that. And if you'll see, I'll go to my desktop, and right there it is, Bonnie Stipe Portfolio. Just a nice, clean presentation. Another way that you can save it, this is sort of if you're having problems finding this, it's a little bit different in PowerPoint. You'll save as a PDF document. Or what I can do is print it, and it actually saves it again as a PDF document. So when you're printing it or as you're saving it as a PDF, it'll save it in this format. And the nice part about having a PDF format is that someone cannot change or alter it or steal images of your artwork off of it. It's a fairly safe format that can be opened on almost any device. So that's kind of the benefit of having it as a PDF. All right. Let me know if you have any questions.